Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the GOWEN Racing Podcast here on the channel for episode, I believe, number 10. We have made it to number 10 here for the podcast. 10 more than I thought we were ever going to get. So we got myself as well as JayCook here with us tonight.
Hello.
Matt.
Yep.
As well as Eddie.
As always.
Last week, I remember we were talking to Eddie about his Rowdy Energy affiliate thingy, whatever that was. Now, since that week, both him and Jay have now become quote-unquote Razor streamers. So, Eddie, tell us a little bit about that, and Jay, because, yeah, I don't know a whole lot.
So basically, me and Jay both applied to become Razer affiliates to where we can promote Razer and their products and encourage people to use Razers and their products. And basically, what we are classified as now, we had to fill out an application to try to get first Razer streamer. And now that we did, now we have to hit the goal of at least 500 followers on any social platform, whatever we do, like Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever the case is, or whatever. And then we can be classified as Razer affiliates and be able to promote, say, any Razer products like their mouses, their keyboards, and any products, and be able to get a little bit of commission from it. So it's really something interesting. It's a great opportunity for both me and Jay. As it'll be interesting to see how it goes in the future.
Jay, what about you, though? Let's hear it.
Virtually the same thing you said. I mean, it's an opportunity to promote Razer and have a little bit of backing from them. If people use your promo code, you get a little bit of compensation for it, and you get a couple discounts, and you also get the backing of Razer as well. Like they have I believe they have a section on Twitch where they'll feature you every now and then, and you can get promoted by them and stuff. So I think you have to get kind of higher tiers for that stuff. But once you get to those tiers, they really start to get back behind you and everything. So, really, really happy to be a part of it. And, I like Razer. I like them as a company. I like their products. So I'm happy to be a Razer streamer.
I like them enough to put them on my career mode car. So, before we dive
Have a
into
paint
anything,
scheme for that in the future.
Before we dive into anything, I just want to point out I was scrolling through Reddit. Formula One on Twitch has banned the phrase hashtag we say no to Mazepin from their chat, by the way.
L.
Give it 6 months and it'll crash enough to be out of F1 anyway. So
Yeah, we'll dive into the Bahrain Grand Prix a little bit later after we get the NASCAR part of the podcast out of the way. Not a whole lot of stuff to talk about this week, really just Bristol Dirt, NASCAR. We are recording this just after the NASCAR race at Auto Club Speedway, and then we'll dive into some Formula One. So, we had some Bristol Dirt this weekend. First time in a long time, I think since 1970, that the Cup Series was on dirt. And we didn't race till Monday because it rained. And the trucks made, one lap around the track, and then they couldn't see a thing with all the mud on their windshields, which was glorious. I was watching Bubba's helmet cam, and he couldn't see a thing. It was crazy. Like,
Yeah, wasn't the greatest idea.
What's that?
it was funny.
Oh, yeah, no, it was entertaining to watch just like one lap like that. But then they postponed it till Monday. They got going. What trucks? I think started at 12, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I woke up after and came down and watched like the last two stages.
Wreck fest.
Yeah, crash.
Just your typical
Truck race.
Truck race.
Just on a dirt. John Hunter Nemechek wrecked, and then like the safety truck hit him. His truck.
Yeah, it basically classifies as two wrecks. One, he gets wrecked by what was it first? Daniel or what the hell was it? Kraus, basically.
Derek Kraus.
Yeah, Derek Kraus. Thank you. I couldn't think of his first name for a second, and then he got wrecked by the safety truck.
Yeah. What was it like that safety truck just sliding down the track?
Yeah, he was on like he was banked at a weird angle, and basically when he hit the gas, the truck just went at a weird angle and smacked the back end of John Hunter's truck and just killed it into the wall.
Yeah, and John Hunter, he wasn't very happy. I saw him go into like the garage area and like do something,
Yeah. Apparently, his crew chief had a lot of kind words for Derek Krause and his crew.
Mm.
Either way,
He said he's gonna karate chop him in the throat. Apparently.
yeah, that'll go over well.
Oh yeah.
But it was
Didn't know he had a black belt.
I didn't know either. But a lot of crashes, Crash Fest. Martin Truex Jr. ended up winning, and Ben Rhodes was second. Ben Rhodes has had a good season in the Truck Series so
Rafael
far.
Lessard was third.
Yeah, the Canadian, which is kind of cool to see.
Not bad from going over to KBM to GMS.
Yeah, didn't do anything at KBM.
And he's finished better in GMS equipment than he has in KBM.
But then we had the important Cup race, and I don't know if it was crazier than I thought it was going to be. If it was less crazy, I think it was less
Weird.
chaotic than I
It
thought it
was
was going to
weird.
be. Like
My hopes were kind of giving up a little bit. Like I had high standards for it, and it kind of shit the sheets for me.
well, like my problem was when we go to a dirt track. Like I'm not very knowledgeable on dirt racing, but I was expecting multi grooves to kind of come in, but pretty much just had to all run the bottom,
Yep.
which was very annoying. But I don't know what did you guys think about it before we really dive into what actually happened. Jay, what did you actually think about the race, the product at least?
I
not the track.
honestly, I was expecting much more of a crap show than we got, especially with the way Friday when they got done with practice and they went out and looked at the surface, and that thing had nothing but craters in it, and just it looked awful. And that was only after a couple hours of practice. I thought that the race was just going to be an absolute just mess between the surface and the drivers not knowing really how to race it. But overall, a much better race than I was expecting. Definitely entertaining. I think when you were mentioning them not being able to run the high side, I think honestly that has a lot to do with the banking. I I don't think that with the way racing on dirt is at a banked track, I don't think you can really use the high side like you want to. So um, it was an experiment.
That's
Is
happening again
probably the
next year.
best way to describe it. It was certainly an experiment, and I'm not sure if it's one they should ever try again, but they're going to. The only thing we have to hope is that NASCAR and Bristol learn from this and realize what they need to do differently next time, which includes use a different dirt. Because that clay there towards the end was just nothing but dust, and it created some just terrible, terrible race. Not really racing, but terrible. That's what I'm looking for. Visibility, and the drivers were struggling so hard to see anything, and it made for some calamity.
It'd be very even more interesting when the fact that they're going to the next gen car next year. So
Yeah.
basically, they're learning again, no matter what, because they really can't take
Yeah, that's
anything from
also
this to
true.
move into next year. So it's gonna be even way more interesting.
Matt,
But
what was your thoughts?
Um, it was entertaining, but was it necessarily good? I'm not entirely sure what to think of it.
I don't think it was a bad race by any
I don't think
means.
it
I
was
mean, there was
bad. It's hard to rate it, because it's just like
the racing product like wasn't bad in my opinion. There was obviously some mess ups and stuff, but that's to be
yeah.
expected with a lot of guys without experience and with the visibility issues.
I thought, in my opinion, it was the
Um,
third worst race of the year.
I thought it was the
nah,
third. I
I
thought it was
wouldn't compare.
second
I,
best.
I think Daytona. I think we can all agree the 500 was the worst race so far.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
have Phoenix as the second worst, and I have this.
Nah, the race wasn't that bad to me at all. It's just there's two big things that NASCAR needs to do for next season or Bristol, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. Different dirt and run it at night. A lot of those visibility issues will get fixed with just those two things right there.
Also another thing, too. Like, I agree with. I'm gonna go on my little rant about like what I thought and stuff real quick, but it's like I was telling people the other night. You have a heavy car like we have now, and we have a wet surface of dirt basically to where it's just slippery, right? So you take a heavy car and you put it on wet surface. What happens?
slide.
Exactly. So, one, how many times did it wet about the top only? How many times have we seen that? Literally straight to the top of the dirt. About like 3-4 times.
Every
At least.
caution.
Yeah. But did they win anything else? No. They barely did anything else. Which is
They
the
no,
I
problem.
think they
they
were
did
mainly
the
doing that
entire.
to try and encourage the drivers to use the top. I think that was the thinking there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it never was clear enough to run the top. Every time somebody went up top, they lost so much ground.
I think that just honestly, like I said before, has a lot to do with the banking and the way the dirt is on banking. I just don't think you can
No, but like
run banking in dirt.
these cars, in my opinion, are not fully prepared and equipped enough to run on dirt. That's literally one of my reasons why I didn't like it. I never thought that these cars would run decent on dirt. I was excited to see how it would turn out, but it didn't turn out to a damn thing that I thought it would be. But
I truly don't think it was that bad. Like
I've watched dirt
car wise and
racing.
racing wise, I just
No, I
don't think
know.
it was.
But it's like I've watched dirt racing and I know what certain cars are able to do and stuff. I think the cars need to be way more lighter for them to be able to do any like particular moves. I thought it was way too heavy for them to do main stuff. I thought basically most of the moves were like on the bottom where most people struggled to run, or when people tried to slide to the top, which was difficult even to run. But other than that, um, the other things I was gonna say, one, you touched on Jay. I 100% agree that this race should only be a night race. I don't understand why we make it a day race. I think the visibility would be less of an issue if it was a night race, to be honest.
please.
And another thing I want to touch on, this is completely different from the race. I think every short track race we go to should be night only. I don't see why we do any more day races on the short tracks.
Richmond
Every
Day.
single time.
Richmond Day.
Richmond needs to stay a day
Yeah.
race.
Okay.
Yeah, which one
But
is it?
other than that, I think Bristol should just stay night racing only, because I can't think the last time of a really exciting day race that's happened at Bristol.
2018.
I don't remember what
Yeah,
that one was.
running in the daytime has nothing to do with Bristol. What they need to do with Bristol is stop running it in March.
But it's like I don't enjoy the day races that much. I enjoy the night race. A night race, I think, in my opinion, is more exciting than a day race. Literally, it brings up more to the
Well, guess
challenge.
what? NASCAR don't give a shit what you
No,
feel.
I know they don't give a shit, but I mean, there's no way anybody cannot testify that we think a night race, that we need like one day race, one night race. Like I understand the Richmond argument, but I feel like Bristol's way more better overall as a night race. Like seriously, I don't think they hyped up any more races besides a Bristol night race. Like I don't think they hype up the day race as much as they do the night race, at all. I really
It
don't.
was also the dirt. It was also dirt.
No, I know, but
Of course, they're
I mean,
gonna hype up dirt.
no, I know, but it's like
And I mean the night race is also a playoff race now. And it's always been the Bristol night race. It's always a race that NASCAR markets hugely,
It's more of
even
a
if the
crown
spring
jewel.
race was a dirt or was a night race.
The Bristol night race was more a crown jewel than Indy ever was. Fight me.
Yeah. I
yeah, to be
agree.
honest, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think night racing should be on dirt. Another thing is, I know I had a lot of arguments about the windshield. I think everyone needs to shut up about the windshield. They're never going to change that. The windshield has nothing to do with visibility. If they take away the
Yeah,
windshield,
they
the
also
driver,
can't run without a windshield.
the driver's in more risk of an injury without a windshield than anything else.
And they just physically can't do it because of all the electronics and stuff in the car. It's not
Exactly.
possible. Never gonna
And
happen.
then I think they need to figure out something to do with I think they had something smart, and I noticed Hendrick did something smart with the filters, because we noticed early how Kyle Busch had an overheating issue with all the dirt that was kicking up and stuff. I mean, they did a good job with how to like change out the filters and stuff for that, but I think they need to figure out something for the overheating. And then I also noticed early the tires were not good, but then as we got later on in the race, the tires were getting better and better as people were trying to figure out how to line it up and stuff. Other than that, I mean, I think honestly, if I was gonna give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. Besides all my counter arguments, I mean, I really honestly think that this would be a whole different story. Oh, and I'm gonna bicker about the single file restart. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I don't understand how going single file on restarts changes the outcome of visibility. It didn't do a damn thing in my opinion.
It just spreads them out.
Yeah, I
no,
think it was just
it
reduce the
wasn't to fix
crashes.
visibility. It was just to
it
have
did
them
change.
not.
It did change a lot. They stopped wrecking.
They did.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
didn't.
That was the whole point of it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't to stop having the dirt flying in the air. It was just to make them more spread out and to just not
the
have
dumbest
issues on
thing ever.
restarts.
And from my understanding, is actually it is very common for dirt races to end up like that. So
This is
Yeah.
the dumbest thing ever, though. I didn't like it at all. Like, I know dirt
mean,
races
I-
do it, but it's like, if you want excitement in racing and side by side, let them go double file. I
Yeah,
understand.
but I don't
the
think they
whole
wanted a
reasoning behind it.
crapshoot, you know?
No, it wouldn't be a crapshoot if people
what
that
it
were
was-
like
which is what it was
aggressive as
turning
shit
into.
weren't sending it into it. Literally.
No, they literally couldn't see, and they were too close together to do anything about it.
Did the same shit with single
And-
file. You couldn't see a damn thing. I literally
But
listened
they
to
did
people
wreck.
still complaining about single file, how they still couldn't see.
But
Yeah, but they didn't
wreck.
have to worry like about a car like right off the bat, right beside them, and still not being able to see. I think was the big thing.
Exactly.
I think
That's
at
part of the
the,
visibility issue where they
and
need
I
to
mean
fix
it was
the
on the
last-
fly too. Like I don't think NASCAR expected to be in that spot there, so I mean they just kind of did what they could with what they had.
I thought it was the dumbest thing.
I was irritated at first, but after
No, the racing got boring for me towards the when they got like that. It was dumb.
I mean, I'm at Racing Reference right now, and it didn't occur to me there was only 5 lead changes this race.
Kyle Busch and then like Truex, I think
Hamlin was on like pole. He led the first lap. Kyle Busch took the
Truex.
lead.
Truex and then
overheated.
Suarez.
Truex, Suarez, and then Logano. That was it.
Dumb.
I honestly like.
I don't think lead changes make for a good or a bad race, though. I mean, they certainly help, but
I'm not saying, but it's like
I'm just offering my
I've
opinion.
never been a fan of single file restarts to begin with. Like I understand we did it back in the day, and it's like just right there, it didn't need to happen.
No, I'm
I
not a
understand
fan
the
of it either,
visibility
but
thing, but it's like it kills the racing point, literally. Like
yeah, but would you
you don't
rather
remember
would
how
you
many
rather have
people
them
were.
be able to race green flag, or would you rather have them wreck on every single restart, which is what was
Just don't
what
be
was
stupid.
happening? You
Like literally,
Yeah, at
you
that
literally
point in the
have
race, it
same-
ain't happening
you have
though.
the same mistakes of people freaking wrecking. Like you can't blame somebody for not knowing how far up the track they can go. Like they're trying to test the waters. Like literally, people were going to the top, losing ground. That's not the guy behind, like below him's fault. What if he runs him over? I understand that, but it's like you can't do a damn thing. But let them try instead of just going single file the whole fucking race.
They tried 2 times and they wrecked both times.
Yeah, twice. That's it. What were the other wrecks?
Well, they wrecked
Single
them
files.
multiple times on restarts prior as well, before it
Well,
got
yeah,
that bad.
Even single file.
Now single file, they were fine once they went single file.
I don't know, man. It was just dumb.
Like I don't like
And
single
I
file
hated it.
restarts, but I felt like
It made it boring. I literally couldn't stand it.
I felt like it was
It was boring.
necessary at that point because they would just like you said like they should stop being so aggressive, but they weren't going to stop, so NASCAR had to
Shouldn't
kind
have
of
to
do
be.
something.
The fucking race. Fucking pass the guy. Don't let them go passive, because then that's where it loses rating and it gets boring, and then that's why people don't watch and they bitch about it. It's literally what happens.
I thought the racing was pretty good after the single file restarts, but
yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it just changed how like the first 2 laps played on a restart. That's all it
I
did.
would say differently if Denny Hamlin was double file with Logano on that last restart, there might have been something different. But
yeah, but then
No.
Hamlin's forced to be on the outside instead of making his choice to be there. And honestly, all Hamlin had to do was just make a different choice about what lane to run, and there you go.
I still think it would have been different, though. It would have been somewhat different. Yeah, because they both would have been side by side out in the corner. You never know what happens. Denny
No,
could pinch
no,
him all the way
actually,
down
the
to
real
bottom.
difference. The real
Yeah,
difference.
but
the
still
real
running that
difference
outside,
with-
running the outside line no matter what was a disadvantage. And Denny chose to go there and it was a mistake.
Yeah, he ran
If
the
Denny's
top.
forced to be
I'm
there,
saying
the
if he was on the
same thing
restart.
still happens.
Yeah, but that was if he's on the top. I'm saying if he's on a restart and the guy was running all the way on the bottom and Hamlin's on the middle and they're both still side by side on the exit 2, somebody might pinch somebody to where it gets interesting. That's what I'm saying. It would have been a little bit more interesting, I think, if it was double.
I think it would have been interesting if Hamlin just did what he should have done.
What?
Yeah, what was he thinking there is a real question.
Yeah, probably punt the dude, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Like he ran the top, earlier not earlier, but
It
towards
has
the end, and
nothing
it
to
didn't
do with
work.
single file.
I just think it would have been different if it wasn't single file.
That has nothing to do with what Hamlin did.
No, I'm just saying. I think Hamlin would have had something
Well,
different if
but-
it wasn't single file. I just think it would have been one completely different. Like you could play as many outcomes in your head as you think, but literally something different could have happened if it was double. There's no shot it wouldn't have.
Something could have happened different if Hamlin just went to the bottom and punted him.
I'm just saying, dude. Literally.
I don't think that I don't really have a big deal with the single file restart, dude.
I thought it was necessary.
I thought, yeah, like it was bad. Like you can't. We know NASCAR is gonna throw safety over. Like safety's number one, man.
I get that, but it just
And
killed it.
then the argument's over.
I'm just saying, it killed it.
I still think that next year we shouldn't do Bristol Dirt. We should do an actual dirt track.
Well, that's already too late.
Well,
yeah,
wants to do
obviously, but
everyone wants to do Eldora, but that's not gonna happen.
I wouldn't want to do Eldora though. No,
Eldora is
I've had
too
enough of that
small,
one.
in my opinion.
Seen
Literally
that
just
enough.
any dirt track that is a dirt track.
Ain't gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen because they won't have enough fans in attendance.
They're already talking about freaking possibly trying Richmond as a dirt. I don't know how the hell that would work.
I mean, apparently it used to be a dirt track, so.
Yeah, but it was also half mile.
Yeah, but you could put in quotations you used to.
Oh.
So I guess we'll talk a little bit about some events in the race, like the first one that comes to mind is Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell wrecking with each other.
Yeah, Christopher Bell lost talent. Pog.
Goes up to
showing the full reason why he deserved to be in the 20 car.
I mean, he was running great until he wrecked.
Yeah, he's running great. Did the same thing freaking 3 weeks in a row, and he still freaking lost talent. Man's literally showing why his race was a fluke in road course, and that's literally the only thing he's getting for a while. I mean, I understand he had the best car, but shit, the guy sucks.
I think he'll show up at the other road courses though.
Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, heck,
Nothing else.
Only time Elliott's shown up is the road course this year.
Finished
Um,
10 flat the Bristol Dirt and finished top 5 at Phoenix. DNF the whole year.
What's that? What about DNFs?
He's only had 1 DNF this whole season so far.
Well, I would hope he's only got 1 at this point.
Unlike a certain 10 driver.
Eric Almirola. That was the first crash, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was Stuart. Yeah, Stuart Friesen came across him, but I mean, I was like, Eric, why are you even doing that bad in the first place to be surrounded by him?
Well, Eric was bitching the whole time apparently on the radio about how he couldn't see nothing. So that was when the visibility started kicking in, is when Eric radioed about it, and then he died.
Yeah, around he went and got clobbered. I mean, yeah, like I said, no one could see. Alfredo piled in. Brett Griffin did another armchair spotter tweet about that crash.
Corey LaJoy killed him off.
Yeah, Corey, he was plowing.
Alfredo was like, yeah, I'm just going to kill your front. And then Corey's like, no, I'm going to fully kill your front.
So Almirola has, I think they said that's 4 finishes or something outside of the top 30.
Yeah, time to find a replacement.
Yeah,
let's go. Start looking
let's point this out. Eric Almirola is 28th in points. He's not even at triple digits.
Yeah, but how many points is he out right now?
No. Should be like over 100.
84.
Yeah, 84 points out of the playoffs.
That's even at this point in the season. That's a little bit hard to make up. But
didn't they say that he had to finish in the top something for the rest of the season? Him and Matty D.
I don't even
know. They made that reference a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and that was at Phoenix. And
like if that's Kyle Busch, 84 points with how much time? Easily make it up. But Eric Almirola, 84 points. That's going to be tough.
It's time for Tony Stewart to look on Craigslist for a new driver.
Even Briscoe at 68 below already. I think he's just going to continue to fall below that. I think he'll gain spots and points, but let's
just point out that Daniel Suarez and Eric Jones are both higher in points than 3 Stewart House cars.
Daniel Suarez, that car should not be doing as good as it is right now. I honestly,
it's RC equipment, man.
I know, but I think it'll start to show with the more 1.5 miles and stuff that car's not as good as we think.
Just showing that Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick aren't getting fully amount of what the hell they should be out of their cars if Daniel's doing what he's doing with that.
Tyler Reddick finished 7th.
No, I know, but Daniel is better than the other RCR car. I think 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, last week he drove up towards the top 5 once, and then he got a speeding penalty. still got a decent finish for that team, which was like 17th, I think.
But it's like if you're Richard Childress and you're looking at that and you're questioning what the hell are your cars getting out of it, then you see Daniel Suarez barely getting equipment from them and freaking doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
exactly.
interesting.
Like he's
It
getting
raises an
equipment,
eye.
but like your car, it's not as
Better
good
than your
as
main
RCR.
cars.
But it's weird. It's like how the heck's he doing this? But
He's almost doing better than your main
Austin
cars.
Dillon right now is in the playoffs. He's 14th.
He's 11 points. He's 11th, and I'm
Four-
overall.
Yeah, you're on over. I'm looking at the playoff grid. He's
Yeah.
14th on the grid, 18 above. Suarez is only 28 below. Bubba Wallace is 36 below. And considering like Bubba Wallace's season, like I think that they're in a pretty good spot.
It's all
actually,
it's all in the. He's full on the board on the pain train.
absolutely. But I think they're in a great spot.
No, I understand he got cut by Ricky Stenhouse, but he's freaking not doing shit. I'm
He
sorry.
was top 10 all day.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Bubba ran great the whole
okay.
race.
Yeah. I'm not
So-
gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I mean, doing what he did, yeah, he got top 10.
I think the incident was his fault, but that doesn't take away the fact that he was running great, showing that that team can
he was
prove.
running great, and the other drivers, yeah, it was great. Every time I looked at him, he was freaking shoving somebody up the track.
Rubbing the
At
race.
least 3
I don't
times.
remember seeing that
And
one time.
I saw him do it a couple times, but I saw a whole bunch of other people doing it as well.
Hey,
No,
hey,
yeah, but I
hey,
see
that's a short
people
track
do it more
race.
than him.
If you're not running into people at a dirt track, you're not racing properly.
Yeah, I don't think you understand. This man was running people all the way almost up to the fence.
Yeah, and where was he ahead of all of them?
I didn't really see that. I mean,
Neither did I. But I mean,
I don't know what you're trying to get on with.
I didn't
'cause
see people
I
complaining
saw a
about
lot
him.
of I've seen a lot of cars that probably should have been in the junkyard after that race.
I mean, a lot of people with dirt experience didn't finish where they were supposed to.
That's one thing I want to point out is
I was
the
expecting
dirt.
that the whole time.
I'm just gonna say it. Besides a couple guys, the dirt guys were just straight up not a factor.
I think Larson would have been there.
With, and
Yeah.
then he
Oh,
died.
yeah.
Ross Chastain literally ended his day.
Yeah, Larson was hauling.
Ross Chastain had ARCA brakes, basically.
Yeah, I think Larson would have been
Yeah,
a
I
big
agree,
factor
but
if it wasn't
It
for
was
the
so good.
damage.
It was so good that Cliff Daniels came out with the smart strategy to where they just said rip off the hood and turn it into a modified. Literally, it was the greatest idea ever.
But
Apparently, they said he was still running top 5 like lap times even after
Even with
that.
the hood cut off and everything, he was running top 5 lap times.
no, that was after the first crash.
No,
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
it again too. He ran like 7th or 8th with the hood cut off. Fastest lap.
Yeah,
He's
he
like
got
better than the
that.
top 10.
He got a whole bunch of that hood damage after he was just trying to hold Suarez up, and then Suarez like, get out of the way, dog.
Yeah,
Which
Suarez
was
ruined
awesome.
Morris's day after that.
Suarez.
Daniel wasn't holding back. He moved Truex out of the way. He says, "I'm taking the lead."
I wish they did the same thing with
And true. For a guy that just started, it's crazy. It's crazy. The 3 guys that like dominated this race have like no dirt experience at all.
Yeah, Suarez. This is his first week ever on dirt. Truex has like no experience. Logano has no experience.
I'm not aware of any experience for Logano. Hamlin, like this entire top 10, Hamlin, I don't really know.
No.
Not really. Yeah, no.
I know Newman does.
Newman's been doing midgets.
Stenhouse, obviously, but
Stenhouse.
Stenhouse is, yeah.
Stenhouse is done.
Tyler Reddick,
Tyler Reddick is done
Yeah.
dirt.
Blaney a little bit.
Who?
Byron,
Byron's done
a little
he
bit.
said a little bit. Yeah, he did the outdoor race with trucks.
Eric Jones has a teeny bit, but not a ton. Elliott, I say he's got a little bit, but
Yeah. Couple.
But like it was just weird. It was just like, where are the dirt guys? And they just kind of.
I full on expected that the whole time. I was expecting it. I really did think that they weren't going to be a factor. And I mean, if it's not for the Christopher Bell spin, I'm way wrong.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
Larson was very fast and Bell was also fast, but it wasn't
Just trying
surprising
to
to
do
me to see
something
them
that
not,
wasn't
not
ready.
be a factor.
One little slip up there, trying to make something happen on the top, ended him and
Bell was
Larson's
trying to
day.
get that work and didn't work.
I credit him for at least trying to make it work, because I mean, there's a couple guys trying to.
Him, Larson, and Elliott were all trying to get the top working at one point, but it just wouldn't go nowhere.
Hamlet was trying for some reason at the end of the race.
It
too.
was like, it hasn't
Yeah,
worked
that
all
was
day.
a
Let me
big
try it now.
mistake, man.
The thing was what they were saying. The top would work like on the restarts for like that short little bit, but then when it came down to like longer the race went, the bottom was where you wanted to be the whole race. Like that top would work for a little while, but it wouldn't last as long as the bottom.
Yeah, it was just.
Because the more water they put down, that top was starting to kick in more, but didn't work.
It was
Nah.
weird.
I mean, Hamlin should have just sailed Logano off on the restart into the corner.
I was hoping Suarez would have done that stage. I was hoping he was gonna kill him.
Oh man. I
If
mean,
he did that, he would
Logano.
be a bigger fan to me. Literally.
I mean, Logano
If he killed him.
ran a good race and did what he
Can't
needed
stand the
to
guy
do.
still.
I mean, honestly, Logano did everything clean there. He was one of the cleanest ones I think on the track that day.
Still can't stand the guy.
But I mean, good for him though. Puts him in the playoffs, obviously. Stenhouse, if there was 5 more laps, Stenhouse would have won the race because he was hauling.
Yeah.
I think he
assume
was.
you guys saw what Hamlin said after the race in interviews about why he didn't try to go to the low line.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, dude, it's Joey Logano, dude.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to do it clean.
Mentality. Throw that mentality talk out of the way. We've seen Logano just punt people for like literally no reason.
He said something that took a jab at NASCAR.
Denny said that that Logano would have done that to him, and he didn't. He wasn't going to do that to Logano, but he was saying that if it was Logano in that situation, he would have done it to Hamlin.
He took a jab at NASCAR. I forgot what he said. It sounded like he almost took a jab at NASCAR. I think he said something about how they were preparing the track or something, which was basically he said, I can't remember how he fully said it, but he was taking a shot at how they prepared that final restart. Apparently, I don't know what happened, but he said something that got him pissed off, and he took a jab at NASCAR about it.
Oh, he said he thought that they would have worked on that top lane a little bit more in between the caution, but they didn't.
Yeah, he said the first time all day they didn't do it because they did it for every single restart. That was what it was.
Honestly, I don't think that's a NASCAR jab though. I think that's more of a Bristol jab, and then the guys who are running the surface, because NASCAR doesn't really have much. I mean, they kind of do, but they don't.
Well,
really
you know what I mean. It's but I mean, you did it all day, and then you didn't do shit for the final restart, and it's like, guys gonna get pissed.
So he knew they didn't prepare that top between the caution and the restart, and he decided to try it anyways.
Yeah, because every time they did a restart, they had the water truck going around, freaking wetting the top lane, and they didn't do it for that final restart at all.
I don't even. That makes me
have the little fake cars run it in and get it worked, and then they would go.
That makes me wonder even more why he would have tried that top, because
I don't know. I guess he thought it would work the same.
I mean, based on what he said afterwards, it was not wanting to wreck Logano, so I guess he just wanted to try something, and it obviously didn't work. I don't know. He could just also be saying that to save face and be like, "Yeah, I screwed up," instead of saying, "Yeah, I screwed up," which.
Did we notice the fans when Logano asked about Bristol Dirt booing him? About the answer?
What?
I think they were just booing to boo.
I don't know, man. That was iffy.
I doubt that anyone
hands
at that
down.
race hated it.
What I heard.
I first thought it was. I was like, wait.
What I heard from the fan reaction was people at the track loved it.
There was way more boos than I heard cheers for most of the time he was talking.
Well, that's Logano.
No, I know, but you don't understand what I'm saying. He asked the fans, "How about what do you guys think about Dirt at Bristol?"
Oh, they don't care what he says, man. They're booing him no matter what.
Like, shit, that's not good.
Whatever comes out of Joey Logano's mouth they're booing him the whole time.
Every single thing that I've heard from fans at the track was saying that they enjoyed the crap out of it. Like I haven't seen.
Well, I've seen it was
a single
50-50.
person that was there say they hated it.
I've also saw 50-50. That was Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Jeff Gluckpole's doing good though.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking up right now, actually.
When I voted this morning, it was like 87 yes.
Like I said, it was okay, but they need to make changes. Literally.
Oh yeah, I mean, always changes to be made. I mean, every track needs some type of changes, but
I think there would have been I don't know. I just think it could have been ran as an exhibition race and it would have been fine, but it's like it was a points race, so everyone's freaking flipping out.
Stuart Haas again sucked.
Shocker.
Actually, Harvick was 15th, but
get the warning flags out, boys.
Get the siren.
It's getting bad now.
It's getting bad. Get the white flag.
My thing was I was like this week I don't care how anyone ran because I'm just like it's Bristol Dirt, it's just a wild card.
But then you saw how
Yeah.
people ran.
Has Harvick even been contention to take like the lead for a little bit at all any of these races so far?
No, I mean he's consistently run top 10 other
No, I
than
know,
the
but
last 2
he
weeks.
hasn't
But
been, and you know, like the last couple of years, he's been like up in
yeah, he
contention.
has. He's
taking,
right
like,
now. He's
leads.
nowhere
He-
near what he was.
I don't think he's led I mean, he might have led a lap. It has to have been, but
I
Yeah,
think
no,
he
he's
led
way
like
off.
500.
but dude, he hasn't led like as much as he has.
Yeah,
Which is not a good
he's
sign.
way off compared to the last couple of years.
I
Not a
can
good
tell you,
sign.
Kevin Harvick has led 0 laps.
Wow.
No, 17. 17.
Okay.
That's not good.
Compared to
He-
last year, I wonder what that comparison is. So.
He led them all at the Daytona 500.
Okay.
That's
So
not good.
essentially, he's led 0 laps.
That's not
Um,
good.
And I honestly,
For that
something-
car and his standards, that's not good.
something
That's a
John,
shame.
I
Yeah.
don't blame him. There's something up at that shop. There's something going on.
it's not good. It's the warning flags. I think are starting to go up because it's the second highest Stewart Haas car is 23rd in points.
To find out that they put all the funding to F1 and it hasn't done a damn thing.
Let's point this out. Stewart Haas has 5 top 10s this year. They're all from Harvick.
Yeah. So
Why?
like Custer hasn't even gotten a top 10.
No,
Nope.
Custer's been like
Goodness.
20th or worse.
Well,
Or
yeah. I mean,
15th or
he
worse.
finished. Custer finished 24th at Bristol.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe's been like 15th or worse.
Oh, it's like rookies don't do anything. It's
I mean,
crazy.
Custer's 54-0. I mean, that's for the way he's running is going to be hard. I mean, Eric Jones is beating this guy in points like in that 43 car. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And like you said, Eric Almirola has barely finished inside the top, like outside the top 20.
It's
Not good.
it's crazy how bad they are.
It's like the Nitro, basically.
Yikes. Wrong.
Then you got a guy
Well-
like Stenhouse, by the way.
14 points.
So he finished obviously second there, but
Yeah.
at Atlanta he finished 12th. At Phoenix he finished 12th.
Gary,
Um,
his worst finish is 18th.
Yeah, Las Vegas 11th. Goes to Miami
This is Ricky
13th.
Stenhouse?
Yes,
Yeah.
Stenhouse. His worst
Holy
finish
shit.
is
18th
18th at the Daytona Road Course.
and
like-
500.
Oh, he finished. Oh, yeah, that's right. He finished 18th there too. So I think
What the hell is
right
going
now
on with
Stenhouse
JTG?
is the most like quiet, underrated driver right now because he is
The biggest
doing.
surprise.
Yeah, that car shouldn't be doing that, and he's having a great run so far this year.
Ryan
think
Preece
it's-
is 18th in points.
I think it's close between him and Chris Buescher for biggest surprise.
Yeah, Busher's been
I
having a
honestly
couple
really
good
want to
runs.
see JTG do good. I like that team a lot. I always have.
Chris Buescher had his moments.
I haven't
on
had a
Sunday.
driver for me to pull for before, but the team I like.
Also, I just want to point out, Denny Hamlin's point lead is now 58 points.
Ahead of
Yeah,
who?
the fact that
Logano,
fact that he hasn't
Even
won yet,
a-
man. Though,
Hasn't won a race.
But yeah, I mean,
Yikes.
if he doesn't win a race, but I mean, he's still going to collect a good chunk of playoff points there if he wins the regular
Kyle
season
Busch is
championship.
tied with McDowell in the points. Keck W.
McDowell's slowly but surely falling out of the top 16.
Yeah, he's down to 12th.
But here's the thing: he's only got one finish outside the top 20. So
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, obviously he hasn't won, but right now, like, Hamlin's having a career season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a matter of that he could have won Bristol if he would have just moved the 22, but
Should have.
yeah, should have hands down moved him.
It would
Yeah.
not surprise me to see Hamlin win Martinsville.
No,
I think my prediction is Truex, but we'll have to wait and see what
Think so.
happens there.
I would say who
Oh
I say,
man, that's
but
comical.
I would say
I'm
who
on
I
the
say, but
NASCAR.
I don't think so.
I'm
I'd
on the
say
NASCAR
Brad.
app scrolling down to the schedule, and I happen to come across Kansas, and I just see Bushy make a Bush race.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
great.
I would
That's,
say Brad wins Martinsville, but the way that he's been performing, it's like me.
it's weird.
It's like some of the best drivers you think are not doing as good as you think. Like
Well,
Harvick, Brad
Hamlin.
Keselowski.
So we've done 7 races so far. Besides Hamlin with 6 top 5s, the next closest is 3.
I just want to point out, I'm just looking now, in the last 4 races from Vegas to Bristol Dirt, Hamlin's worst finish is 4th.
If you take out
man.
Homestead, Hamlin's worst finish is 5th.
Yeah, other than that, Homestead was 11th. That's his worst race of the year.
I just wow.
I mean, 3rd at Daytona Road Course, 5th, 500, top 5 in Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta, Bristol Dirt, and then 11th at Miami. Like, dude's having an insane season right now. I think he'll be a competitor at Martinsville, but I don't think he'll win. I think he'll be top. I think it'll be another top 5 actually, but
Bringing Chase Beckett off this championship hangover.
If there's any place that Denny can win, it's Martinsville.
he can. But I think Truex is just going to run away with it.
I think
I
he wins
don't
at
think
like
so.
what's the next 3 races? Martinsville what?
Martinsville, Richmond,
Talladega.
What's up?
Hamlin's good at
Kansas.
all those tracks, by the way. So.
I think he'll either win at Richmond or Kansas.
I mean, don't forget, we got Talladega, a plate track.
I don't think he wins at Dega.
I think the odds are low, but he is really good.
You want to know who I think wins Talladega?
Eric Jones.
Someone in the top 30 in points. Pull a hat out. That's probably a good guess.
If that happens, playoffs is gonna be freaking ruined.
The next month and a half is really good for Denny. We got Martinsville, Richmond, Talladega, Kansas, Darlington, and then Dover.
All tracks he knows how to win at.
Actually,
going to
track
Dover.
up until Coda is a track that Hamlin can win at.
Dover, by the way, I
I'm
heard.
going to it.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I heard a
Excited.
story a couple years back that Hamlin had to get like a psychological therapist to rewire his mindset on Dover.
He used to be terrible at
Yeah,
Dover.
he was terrible and he hated it, and he went to therapy to change his mindset about it, and then obviously it changed, and now he's decent at it. So
Yeah.
Really?
yeah,
I
I
know,
can't remember where
it
it was a
used to be one
podcast. I
more
listened to it.
Used to be one of his worst tracks.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But then after that, we got Coca-Cola 600, Sonoma, 2 road
First.
courses in 3 weeks, baby.
First. Could be interesting. Coda's gonna be the freaking big one, man. Jesus.
I can't
Yeah,
wait
Bristol
for
Dirt was a wild card. Coda's another wild card. Like,
I think Coda we're gonna see more wrecks than any other place.
someone's gonna lock
Those
up.
S's,
down the
man, they're gonna
back.
be.
Someone's gonna lock up into during the backstretch into that sharp left-hander.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
Someone in like
get
15th is
popped.
gonna miss that breaking point on the first lap and just full send the field in front of them.
me at Mid-Ohio.
I think everybody's
Oh,
just gonna
no.
spin out somehow. I think there's gonna be so many one-car spins
So
just from people missing points and stuff.
It's-
I don't think it'll be that big. Actually, I don't. They're gonna have practice and qualifying, so actually, I don't think it'll be that.
Yeah,
bad.
they'll get a good feel for it. It's still an extremely different type of road course for a stock car.
That one corner at the end of that straightaway and the S's I think are gonna be the 2 big trouble spots for the Cup cars.
Yeah.
Turn 1 even is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, that too.
They're not going to be able to see the turn going up the hill, and just knowing how NASCAR drivers are, I can just see that being a recipe for disaster on the initial start.
You know,
But-
with them, I didn't think about that. With them going uphill like that into that turn and how tight that turn is, and them being in an enclosed cockpit, it might actually be really hard. For
Even
them to do that
F1
turn.
is like, oh god, like it gets really interesting down there. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't wait for that one. That's not until late May, so we'll have to wait another.
Speaking of F1,
Yeah, well, we'll talk about eNASCAR first, and then we'll
Oh.
dive right into F1 because eNASCAR is pretty quick. But I mean, I guess we recap Bristol Dirt, Logano with the win, and our thoughts on it and stuff. Overall, my rating was probably a 7 out of 10 for that race.
Same for me.
So, okay, what about you, Matt?
same.
All right, Eddie said a 6 earlier.
Yeah, that's a 6.
So we move on to eNASCAR. A very straightforward recap for this one because it just stayed green the whole race.
Fuel mileage, Pog.
Fuel mileage, Auto Club. First start or the start was, I mean, all right, packed up. Everybody was right there in a pack, but then it got spread out very quickly, and it was just like that for the rest of the race. There was some decent multi-groove racing. Dirty air. There was some decent multi-groove racing here and there for the lead. Keegan Leahy tried a interesting two-stop or whatever. Didn't work. Bob Bryant saved enough. Got the win. Some other guy, Justice, got second, and then Isaac Gann got third.
Yeah, Derek Justice. That's
Derek
what we're supposed to have
Justice,
on the podcast in the future.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Conti tried a terrible strategy. He went with the strategy with the rest of the field, and then
Same with
decided to pit
Casey.
early for a second stop, and it was not a good idea.
Yeah,
Didn't
it
work
was
at
weird.
all.
But yeah, I mean, he's locked in the playoffs. So, how many?
Yeah,
Actually, before we move on, how many drivers make the playoffs again? Is it 8 or 10?
10.
I have no idea.
10. I was going to say, if
10.
it's 8, like I think we'll easily have more than 8 winners.
It's gonna get interesting
Even
now.
at 10, it's already. We're
Well,
already
how
at
many
5
regular
winners,
season
so,
races
I mean,
are there?
20,
No.
Nah,
it's,
it can't be that many.
16.
I want to say it's 14.
But just knowing
Is
how
it really only
competitive,
14?
well, even with that, like NASCAR Coca-Cola Series is extremely competitive. I could see 14 winners.
It is. There's 18 races total, 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's possible, but we'll have to wait and see.
The
Then.
elimination race into the playoffs is Michigan in iRacing. Oh Lord. Wait, the All-Star race for the Coke Series is iRacing Super Speedway. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Remember
Oh,
last
no.
year they did like trucks on a dirt track at Eldora, maybe it was.
No, it was North Wilkesboro.
that was
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember now. But I guess moving on, there wasn't really anything noteworthy. Ryan Lutza hit the wall and it ruined his race.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who's Bobby Bryant?
What's that?
It's like who's Bob Bryant?
Bryant. He drove for Larson's team. Then he drove for Redacted
you
Racing
mean
as Jay.
redacted racing.
And then he came in and filled in for Parker Kligerman after the Ashton Crowder stuff.
And now here he is winning.
And he's
Parker
15th
Kligerman.
in points, so you know what that means. He's in the playoffs.
We had Garrett Maines back on quite a while back, and he was very against that whole win in your end thing. I think.
How do you feel about Ray Afala being 39th in points?
Is he really 39th in points?
Yeah, he's tied.
Bro.
Yeah, 39th.
Yeah, so all this shit happens when he's not a part of his own team, like Team VRS. He did the same thing with Wood Brothers, and now he's doing the same thing with with Joe Gibbs.
Something's
I
weird,
don't know
man.
what the hell. I don't know what the hell
Whoa.
happens when he doesn't drive for his own team.
I didn't
but
realize it was that bad. I mean,
I
Alfala's
didn't
my
either.
yeah, he's my favorite driver. I thought it was better than that. I thought he was maybe
Like-
like 25th or something.
The
But
man made the playoffs
Holy.
last year, and now he's barely even making it into the freaking next year.
He's gonna be lucky that
He's not making it.
no, he ain't made. No, at this point, no, not a chance.
There's no way.
We'll have to get him on the podcast and ask him, why are you sucking so bad?
Yikes.
But it's like I remember because he got demoted to the Xfinity thing and just he ran that no problem, made it right back to Coke with no problem at all. And then he got back.
Had a
then
good
he went
year last year.
yeah with his, but he was with his team like Eddie mentioned or whatever.
Yeah.
Won a
Yeah,
race,
when
made the
he
play,
was with
almost
his
made the
team-
Final Four.
Yeah, when he's with his team, he's fine. But when he started with Wood Brothers, didn't even make it into the next season. He had to race his way back in, and now it's looking like the same thing this year again. don't
Except even worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
Way worse.
That's what happens when he goes away from a Chevy.
Yeah, dude,
Go
I
for Ford,
hate,
didn't do shit. Went to Chevy, made the playoffs. Drive to Toyota, didn't do shit.
I hate makes, dude. I don't think it means shit.
Hey man, I'm just saying.
Got to add to the drama.
Gotta add to it.
Oh my
Find
god,
something.
Chevys are so good. Oh my, shut the hell.
Cheating Yoders.
Chevy won today, I guess, didn't they?
Yep.
But I mean, I guess we move on to F1 now, with the Bahrain Grand Prix. So I only personally got to see the last 20 laps or so because I was working.
I watched a recap video on it.
So I'll let you guys.
Mazepin, baby, let's
Yeah,
go!
Mazepin's debut was just as awesome as I was hoping it would be. He wrecked so many times, and then wrecks himself on the first lap, and out of the race.
Jay,
Couldn't
you
ask
watched
for
the whole
anything better.
And then right
You-
after
you
Mick
watched the whole
Schumacher
race,
spins again.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Bottas's pit stop was longer than Mazepin was racing.
Yeah, that's yeah.
There's so many good jokes with him spinning out literally 15 seconds into the race. All right, let's put it this way: Mazepin has done more formation laps than actual race laps.
I was really joking about it at first, and I still kind of am. But then I saw the next restart Mick immediately spin as well. So I don't think all of it is Mazepin's fault. I think a lot of it has to do with just how crap that car is. But yeah, I mean Mazepin is also just
I
bad.
mean, it's everything you ever wanted. You want Haas to fail, you're getting it.
I mean, we only want Haas to fail because they're simping for Russia.
Pretty much.
I really hope that they get their shit together for next season. Don't do what they did this year and then have a
Yeah.
good car. If they do the same thing they did this year, then I wish you the worst of time in F1, Haas. Smile.
I mean, Mazepin's father's got enough money to keep him there.
Yeah, but it's not about them keeping Mazepin. Well, it is about them keeping Mazepin around and the sponsors and stuff. But if they had also made the livery different, which I think they will do next season, even if Mazepin is back, that would like that it would make the situation a lot less worse, and I would have a lot less dislike for that team than I do right now if they didn't have the delivery they do. But
Well, as far as I'm aware, they're still being investigated about that livery too, aren't they?
I don't know.
No clue, honestly.
I forget what the company is, but it has something to deal with the whole Russian like stuff with like
Oh,
being
no wonder
banned.
Stuart Haas sucks right now.
But I know they are investigating their livery, and I haven't heard like them close the investigation yet. So
I also saw one thing that apparently the company's colors are nowhere near red, blue, and white.
They're not.
Oh, no wonder freaking Harvick
So,
and
like,
them are sucking.
I don't get what's going on. I mean, I do get what's going on with that team money, but
I think it's funny that we
wow.
can make jokes about Haas like literally tanking the season.
yeah, I mean
we
they
saw
said they didn't even
with
put
Drive to
anything into this
Survive.
year.
Yeah, we saw the Drive to Survive. Like pretty much every time Gunter was on the screen, he was having a conversation with Gene about needing money and stuff. So I think Gene was honestly just pushing him so hard to find sponsors and everything that Gunter had to feel like he really, really, really had to sell out. And we're
Actually,
to the point where we are now. I think honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with Gene and just him pushing Gunter so hard for money.
Yeah, Gene didn't want to
I
spend
don't
more
know, it
money
seems
on his
weird.
own end. He said, I mean, you look at it from a business standpoint, Gunter did a good job. But in terms of just like morals and stuff, didn't do a good job there. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think that the livery stuff or like the Mazepin thing has. I mean, Nikita being signed kind of does have to do with Gunter because Gunter obviously went after him, but like the whole keeping him on the team and keeping around for the money and livery, I think that more of that honestly has to do with Gene. Like once they were there, Gene wasn't letting go of that money at all for anything.
Yeah, no, I don't put any blame on Gunter personally. I love Gunter's style.
Knowing how Gunter is, I think he would have easily kicked Mazepin off the team if he had the control to.
Yeah. So I think we should go into the main controversy of this race right away.
Well, hold on. There's one more.
Oh,
Sebastian Vettel. I'm a fan of Sebastian Vettel. That was a rough debut. And I mean, overall, for Aston Martin in general, we're clearly behind some of the teams who were ahead of last year, which is concerning.
According to Otmar, it's because of regulation changes, and honestly, I don't want to hear any kind of bitching about regulations from that team.
Yep, I agree.
Honestly, after watching Drive to Survive, it made me less against what they did last year. And Sebastian Vettel now drives for them. Do everything we can.
Honestly, I'd be pretty embarrassed if you fell this hard with what their car is.
That is another good point, though. Is like they got something very similar to a Mercedes, and clearly, like I said, they're behind teams they were ahead of last year.
Yeah.
I want so hard to like that team, but I just
Can't.
they've come out looking like crybabies, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm okay.
And Sebastian had a moment looking like Ferrari again, where he pulled in behind Ocon and just locked up. And obviously at that point,
Yeah.
you're just going
Yeah.
right into the back of the car in front of you, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, he took out Ocon, which was great. But so I mean, I thought it was tremendous that he took out the guy I don't like. But other than that, I mean, it was a really rough debut. So,
But
They also had him on a dumb strategy.
yeah.
the whole weekend wasn't good for Sebastian,
Mm-mm.
and really none of his doing, other than the crash. But he was only the second car left running.
Well, you know what's interesting to me is so the whole time I was blaming the qualifying thing on the Mazepin spin, and then they went and looked at he didn't slow down.
Yeah.
like,
oh, like
I
Jesus.
guess he was just that bad in qualifying.
Vettel needs something. He needs.
I guess you saw that, right, Gary?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So I guess he was just that bad in qualifying or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe he slowed down some, but not enough to F1 standards.
I think on a normal
so-
weekend he'll be better than Stroll, but
I don't know.
You better hope.
I mean, I do
I
hope,
don't know.
or at least very close.
We
I
know for a
just-
fact that Stroll's going to have the #1 car because I mean Lance is his father, and Stroll
Lawrence is his
honestly
father.
better than everybody. Or sorry, Lawrence, my bad. Yeah, and Stroll is honestly better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, it's a good
So
driver.
I think he's going to have the better performance all season compared to Vettel. At least long-term points wise. Maybe not every single race, but I think Lance will finish ahead of Vettel in points this year.
I don't. I was hopeful there were going to be a podium contending team, and that's already gone out the window.
Yeah, it's not going to
That's
I
happen.
just top tens, honestly.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. But
It's-
honestly, Aston Martin looks like the 7th best team.
no, it does not look good.
Um,
Tsunoda had a good run.
yeah.
Yeah.
That AlphaTauri looks really good.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Gasly, Tsunoda.
Gasly had his issue, but like looking at lap times, Gasly was flying.
I think
And
Ferrari's back to normal.
Tsunoda also
Ferrari's
looks like
not-
he's also a lot better too
Yeah,
than anybody thinks.
Dude,
Like he looks like
those-
he's going to be really good.
those AlphaTauris are gonna be good, but
Ferrari's
I think
better.
they're
Oh, with
contenders with
Ferrari,
McLaren
they're
this year.
Ferrari's better, but
Yeah, Ferrari definitely looks a lot better than last season.
It was weird. I was
it's
like,
a
watching
pretty
it.
clear number 3 McLaren.
Yeah, Lando's freaking pog.
Well, it was discovered that Ricardo had floor damage the entire race.
Yeah, but Lando Norris pog.
I think fourth and fifth is toss up with AlphaTauri
I don't know.
and
I
Ferrari.
still can't say like that. I see McLaren is clearly a third. I mean, I really hope they are.
I mean, they gave the
But
fireworks for Lando.
AlphaTauri just looked really, really good to me. And then I mean, Ferrari is also better than last season as well. So I think third through fifth is a toss up. McLaren's probably the better team out of those three, though.
Yeah.
Fireworks were for Lando.
Eh,
Can't
I
kill
think
me wrong.
Sergio Perez had a comeback of a lifetime.
Sergio better than
Yeah,
Albon.
man,
don't have
that
to show
guy,
it.
holy.
Already showing that I think Red Bull is making a good decision with him in the car. The fact that he
Yeah,
finished
Honestly, he's
fifth.
on the
Mercedes
podium,
Mark?
I think, if he doesn't have that issue at the beginning of the race. I
The
think
fact
he's
that he
on the
put that
podium.
thing in fifth from where from how that start was, it's
Bull
insane.
drove the
Albon would have
Mercedes.
Albon or Gasly when Gasly was in that
Would
car.
have finished outside the points.
Yeah, no, they would have gone nowhere near what Perez did.
Yeah, so
He just
Yeah.
also likes being last at Bahrain for some reason.
He does.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
are you challenging me?
Red Bull drove the Mercedes.
But if as long as like Imola's next.
Oh God. Whoever starts first is gonna win.
Yeah. Well, we'll ignore that for now. But if Perez can get the qualifying mishap out of the way, I mean, we'll see what he can do from a fourth.
I think that easily when we get to Azerbaijan, Perez gets his first win there. First win with the Red Bull, sorry.
He's had a lot of success at that track.
Yeah.
With a
I think
midfield
he
team.
easily wins that race.
Okay.
I don't think. I don't know. Do they have the straight line speed compared to Mercedes, or are they just better in the corners right now?
I th-
Well, here's Gasly was the fastest guy on straights with a Honda engine.
Huh.
So
I
it's
think Red
close.
Bulls.
It's
I
close.
think Red Bulls are gonna be the closest they ever been to being like with Mercedes for every single race because
mean,
They might legitimately be better performance-wise than Mercedes.
the way I looked at it on the recap, every time I saw Verstappen was able to catch Lewis, and then I guess with like the weird controversial stuff with Lewis apparently driving over
Oh,
the,
boy.
what was it, turn 4 or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
He
we might as
drove
well
over
dive into
with, like,
that now. Yeah.
Yeah, he drove into it, like, 6 times
boy.
and penalized Verstappen for doing the same exact thing.
No,
So how do you feel
there
about
wasn't
that?
no penalty. There was no penalty.
Whatever. Yeah, they called him for it or
Their
something.
logic on that whole thing is wow.
It-
I mean,
The
something.
only thing they had was it was for position. That's why they made him give it up. But
Yeah, they basically said we're allowing you to do it unless you're passing someone, and then it's kind of like why?
This is my logic on this entire situation. First off, let's point this out. Hamilton did it 29 times. All right, so actually, let's go before this. Actually, the FIA said they would not penalize you as long as you didn't gain an advantage. Lewis
Didn't-
goes and proceeds to do it 29 times.
And he gained time.
That
from it,
is
too.
not by accident.
Yeah,
You would not be doing that if it wasn't gaining you an advantage.
And
and you
Verstappen did it
also
once.
there was also the clip of Horner coming over in the middle of the race and saying, "All right, Lewis is going wide in turn 4. Do it too until we're told to stop."
yeah, I saw that too.
So like clearly they thought that they were getting an advantage and they needed to try it too because if they weren't, they were at a disadvantage compared to Mercedes.
So what basically the FIA said, the track limits are different. That is not the track. That white line, which is track limits, that's not the track limit.
Which
whatever
is
they
also what they
determine.
say is the track limits, which is weird.
So what is it?
The inconsistency there is that was bad,
It's like
especially
NASCAR was
with the whole
officiating that
weekend.
thing.
Yeah, the whole weekend, they were talking about it. The whole weekend through practice and qualifying, F1 said don't go wide, stay within the white lines, and then for the race they stayed silent, didn't say anything about it. And so it was like they didn't give any clear guidelines, and so it was like why, why change? Why change?
I saw a video as well. I think it was someone passed Tsunoda off track, same corner that Verstappen did the Hamilton one on, but he didn't. I forget who it was, but he didn't clear Tsunoda till the S's part. But he still did the same thing as Verstappen, passed him, did not get called whatsoever for it.
Was it Carlos Sainz?
I think it was Carlos Sainz.
There's
Did not
also
get called at all for it.
we as going off of only the camera angles that we're given and the FIA being able to look at every single camera angle possible. And from the little bit that I've seen, like it even looks like in that moment that Lewis forces Max out wide. The camera
I
obviously
thought if
changes, and
Max
we
didn't
can't
go
really
wide, they were
see
gonna hit.
that. Yeah, I thought that Lewis was forcing him wide, and obviously the FIA has more cameras they can look at and see if that actually happened or not, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I'm with Max on after the race or whenever he said it, and they played the clip of him saying, "Just let me keep going and try and gain 5 seconds on him. Don't make me slow down." I'm honestly with Max on that one. Like, let him pass and then penalize him later if you're going to penalize him. Take a second and look at it,
Oh,
and then if you deem it was a penalty, give him a 5 second penalty or
I think
whatever.
if Max got by him, he would have pulled away by a lot.
well, just
I think he had
No,
more
he
power
would have.
than
Yeah, he was
Lewis.
Just to
hauling.
point out-
the little bit that he did it, he pulled away like half a second
He
before
was
he,
so much
he gave it back
faster.
up.
Just to point out, he would have lost the win no matter what if that happened because I forget one of the team guys, I think it was Christian or something, mentioned he was talking to an official, and the rule is that with the situation the way it was, the only option is to give the place back. You cannot get a time penalty or anything. You have to give the place back.
Hmm.
That's why they told him to
I-
do what he did. He honestly, he could have won the race if he would have done it at a different spot.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
A, if you would have done it at a different spot, and B, I think that when he did give it up, even like I think in the spot it was all right to do it, but when he did it, I think he gave up too much speed. I think he did it a little bit too slow.
And it didn't help that he was
Yes,
clearly
but-
heated.
All right, you want to
Yeah.
know where he needed to do it? It was he needed to do it on like the exit of the So you know,
The
so you where
they go through the end of that sector basically, and they're going down the next long straightaway. On
yes,
the exit of that
yes,
turn is
and
where
then you
needed
get
to do it.
DRS back, and then you pass them on the front.
Yeah, that's when you should have done it.
So yeah, I mean, it was just a mistake there on Max's part as well. But
Yeah.
you could tell when he got past, he was definitely heated in the car because he made a few mistakes real quick.
Yeah.
Made it even worse for him because then you have to cool the tires down with only a couple laps to go at that point.
And I think he just genuinely used up every single bit of like ERS and fuel and everything he had to get to Lewis, and had it all in that one
Yep.
pass. And when that one pass didn't work, he didn't have anything else to pass him. There was nothing else he had built up and say that he could have done. So it was like all
man.
that one time or nothing, and unfortunately it was
Yeah.
nothing.
Dude, no bullshit. I think Red Bull is like I said before, I think this is the closest they're gonna be to beat Mercedes. I thought Verstappen was the fastest
he is.
of
He
both
was.
Mercedes, and I even think Sergio could have even did something. But I mean, the way he was and everything. But I really like what I see out of the Red Bull right now.
Yeah, I guess
And
Mercedes wasn't
don't know.
sandbagging
No,
fully.
They were sandbagging.
I
They
bet,
just-
yeah,
Slowly
just
see
not
that they
too.
don't have what they had
Yeah.
before. Like they need to go into more research and stuff. So,
But
I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, Max was put on the back foot the instant Lewis undercut. It was going to be tough because they got caught. They got caught again.
Yeah.
This has happened to Red Bull before with Mercedes. They get caught.
And when it comes to Lewis Hamilton on saving tires,
Bono, my tires are dead, but they're really not.
whenever you hear that comment, you know the battle's over.
Honestly, I wonder if that's some coded comment for Lewis is saying that Bono knows his tires are fantastic.
Yeah.
Every time we hear that comment, he like drives away.
All right. If the drivers haven't caught on now, they're never going to. But I mean, here's the thing. Mercedes isn't that far behind. All right, let's say this gap of the
No,
cars
they're not
stay-
far behind at all.
Let's say the gap of these cars stay about the same. Lewis will still win.
Yeah, and I agree. I think if it stays like it is now, he wins the championship still.
Like to beat Lewis, you have to have a car that is way outside his ability.
Yeah, Bottas no chance, obviously.
I mean, his Bottas' pace actually wasn't bad.
Yeah, but it's still not good enough. That's kind of the story of it.
Actually, I saw the race pace average of all the drivers. Bottas was faster than Verstappen that race.
Yeah, it didn't pay off though.
I mean, it didn't matter because his pit crew fucked him. Bottas had like a 15-second pit stop.
I hate to see that.
You do hate to see it just because it's. I mean, it doesn't matter because Bottas's time is ticking. So.
I mean, Bottas.
George Russell, baby.
George Russell is.
What if they just throw a curveball and throw Ocon in it?
Freaking just twist me in a knot.
I think George like
shove me in a freaking
Toto still has Ocon under his wing, so.
If I'm George, I immediately find whoever Mercedes' biggest rival is, and I go to that team.
He ain't going
if
to
that happens.
I don't think Toto would even consider not putting Russell in.
I don't know. I mean,
you're gonna put Ocon in.
Are you going to tell me with a straight face Ocon is anywhere near the driver of Russell?
No, but Toto also like has some ungodly love for Ocon for some reason.
Yeah, and I mean,
well, he was getting outran by Alonso, so that tells you everything.
Yeah, and he was getting outran by Ricardo the whole year for pretty much. So.
Yeah. So. FIA, let me FIA. Here's my message to you, even though you'll never hear this.
Fix your shit.
No, it's simple. You know how you say the white lines are the track limits?
Hit him green.
FIA. Those are the track limits. It's a pretty simple concept. If you go outside those lines, you will get warning/penalized. I am a goddamn genius. Where is my promotion?
He might be onto something here.
It's crazy.
I can tell you, Caden does not like that idea.
the inconsistency is just it's baffling.
How hard is it to follow this a simple concept? If you go outside this white line, you are penalized.
I don't
I
think
just
Caden
don't
still
get how they
understands
were
that message.
so like they were so strict about it all weekend, and then it came to the race and they didn't say anything about it, and they didn't
And
care.
then,
Like,
at the end of the race, they're like, "Yeah, we're strict again."
why are you gonna care about it for qualifying and practice, but not the race where it actually matters?
Oh, so
I
no
mean, come
wonder
on,
Caden
man.
went to Mercedes. He drives like Lewis. He ran over 29 times with that shit.
That is insane. He ran over it 20.
And they didn't care.
But when we do it, they care about Caden doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, it was an entertaining F1 race. So.
Yeah, from what I saw, I mean, it was good.
Very.
I mean, like when I got home, like I said, there's like 20 laps to go. It was just starting to where Verstappen was closing in on Hamilton.
It was. I mean, it was overall one of the better F1 races of like the last couple of years. Not one of the best, but one of the better for without having something insane happen.
It was good.
Let's
Yeah.
go, Lando. Dun, dun,
It
Yeah, I
honestly
mean-
has me really hyped for the rest of the season if it stays like this.
It felt
Then,
like,
Has me really excited.
then you realize we're going to Imola next.
yeah, they can't pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
might not
mean,
be
It's
Green flag
gonna be
pass.
bad.
Yeah.
I felt right at home though. Like I roll in my house within 10 minutes, I see Sebastian Vettel spun out in turn one. I was like,
Hey,
yes.
Uh,
Different team.
F1
Didn't
season's
you?
officially
Yeah.
back now.
Different
Just
team,
wanted-
same year all over again from like 20.
Just
It
wanted to
just
go
shows,
back
man, he's
outside.
trash now.
No, it's not.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Germany was the turning point of everything in 2018.
Yeah.
It changed everything.
Man, September the 5th needs to hurry up and get here because I want to see them race around Zandvoort. That race better not get
Oh,
canceled
that's
this
pretty
year.
close. Yeah, no, they ain't. I don't think they'll
Canada
cancel anything.
canceled.
Canada? No,
what?
I think Canada will be fine.
No, apparently the Canadian government will not run the race without fans, so that's not going to happen.
So, like, I mean,
The race
Very-
will have to have fans for it to happen, and that's not going to happen.
Well, Gary,
you
tell
know
them to clean their shit up.
I mean, they allowed fans for Bahrain.
Well, Canada's also a lot more.
well, I guess we're still at a point where we're not even letting fans in a hockey stadium, so I don't know.
I think
guess
that's more NHL rules than.
No,
no, because NHL they're loading
Oh
up
wait, you're
places
right.
in the
Yeah,
U.S.
that's
I-
true.
I
Yeah,
could-
you're
I
right.
could
You're
go-
right.
And NFL just announced that they expanded the season because they want to get more fans in now.
Well,
like-
no,
I don't even want to get into a topic.
Oh, no.
conversation about that one.
No, listen. Their main concern, they want to get fans back in, but they also increase the season.
that's what they're saying. All right, buddy.
Yeah,
That's
that's what they're
that's
saying, but
total
they
I'll tell you.
won't
bull crap.
I'll tell you.
That is
I'll tell you
bull
what
crap.
they're actually worried about. It's called this thing called
Money.
money.
Yeah, they know, but it's gonna be fun when all the special players get hurt and yeah, playoff chances get ruined. Poggers.
But money.
But money.
I
It's like
mean-
Mr. Krabs.
Money is extremely important now after the whole pandemic.
Roger Goodell's a bitch. Can't stand him.
I don't know who that is, but we're just gonna roll.
That's the
with it.
commissioner of the NFL. He's garbage.
I know the name, but yeah.
But
Phew.
pretty much.
I think that's yeah. I mean, next up in F1, like we said, Imola, not going to be a good race. Up next in NASCAR is Martinsville. Should be a solid
Off week.
race.
Off
week,
Easter.
yeah, off week for everything. We
Yeah,
don't have
celebrate the rabbits.
we have nothing going on this weekend. So
F1's off.
You gotta celebrate the
yeah,
rabbits.
F1's
man.
almost a month off. I'm like, what the heck?
Well, it's because China was supposed to be like a week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, man, we gotta go
But-
celebrate the rabbits. It's Easter.
So that's pretty much everything. I think.
Yeah.
Open up the fake eggs. And
Is there
get
any
fat with
questions
candy.
at all?
Not a damn thing.
No.
Let me check my Discord here real quick.
It's a ghost town in everything right here.
Maybe someone will pop a question in the chat. Let's see here. I'm quickly scrolling as quick as I can through the Discord, and pretty much nothing new. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, heck, I'll come up with my own question.
Oh, that should be good.
Oh no.
never
Let's
worked
see
out
here.
good.
Let's see here. Let me think here.
Oh, I got a great question.
Go
I got a
for it,
great
because I
question.
can't think of anything.
Hey Gary,
Oh no,
how's
Paper Bro.
the Cyberpunk life?
it's
Little,
solid.
Game out installed a
when's
month
the last
ago.
time you played it?
I'm waiting for some more DLCs.
Why? Because the game's mediocre.
No, it's solid.
The game I
Mhm.
uninstalled 2 months ago.
Actually, no, I would never uninstall it.
No, I did.
Oh. There's actually some data miners we're looking in, and some DLCs and stuff that are going to be coming out. There's a whole bunch of stuff, like free DLCs that's coming.
I ain't gonna save the game.
But
The game was already lost.
hey, all I'm saying is, if you look at the PC versions, buy that, and don't look at the console stuff. It's a very superb game. Consoles, of
Yeah.
course. It's a disaster.
The game to me looks like it did nothing revolutionary, and it's just
No, it did
Oh,
not
okay.
absolutely do anything like
The
it's.
game scene is so dry right now. It's ridiculous.
It's not gonna be like how everyone thought it was going to change the future of role playing games and how just games in general should.
Hey, we'll
be-
release the game when it's ready.
Yeah,
XD.
Why everyone's going to GTA 5 RP now?
I mean, it's still like probably my second or third, like I said, favorite game of all time. But like the fact that you go in and shoot an NPC in the face and the police spawn 5 feet immediately away from you and murder you on the spot shows you that the game was not ready to
That sounds
release.
fun.
That's what happened. Well, now they changed it and they're like 40 feet away.
Oh wow,
yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, 35 extra feet is fantastic.
That's some really fun interactive gameplay.
Well, I mean,
Really
personally, like I never dabbled in shooting an NPC for random reasoning, but if you do commit crimes, that's what happens.
Dude, the game scene right now is just so dry. There's nothing good.
Yeah, you know what? To finish off the podcast, we'll dive into like a tiny bit of that.
There's just nothing good, man. Like
The one I'm looking at,
the Warzone is so dry because of all the stream sniping and the freaking cheating and all the bull crap. Cold War is probably the worst COD right now. That's for like the last couple of years.
No.
Probably would say otherwise, but I mean, I don't know.
other
There's
than like what
nothing fun.
NASCAR 20 or NASCAR Next or whatever that it might be called, or F1, the only other game that I'm got my eyes on that's not confirmed this year but could potentially be coming is Starfield, which is a Bethesda game.
Me and Jay are both waiting on MLB The Show.
I'm gonna be real. I'm probably
outside
gonna.
of sports stuff, like I don't have my eye on any game coming out this year.
I might get the MLB game. Well, actually,
I'm-
Rust on
okay.
console obviously is coming
yeah,
out.
Rust. Okay, that's
coming
true.
out.
We're all
probably
gonna hopefully get
I'm
that.
gonna try out the new Resident Evil probably. That comes out like a week after MLB.
That's PS exclusive, isn't it?
But I mean,
No,
you
it's
should
on
100%
it's on
get
Xbox.
MLB, Gary. We can play online franchise together and stuff. So
I think we can. I think we can all have a lot of fun together on Rust though when that drops.
One game I'll definitely
yes.
keep my eye on that can be good. That Hot Wheels game, low key.
Oh yeah, no,
What
that
I've heard
the
about
graphics look
Yeah,
really
that could be an
good.
interesting one.
Yeah, that comes out in September.
Rocket League with the NASCAR and F1 DLC is coming.
That'll be
yeah, that's gonna
decent
be
for
in
like a
May.
day or two for me.
Guys, leave in the
I'll get
comments if
tired
you'd
of
like
that
to see
game real
Gary
quick.
do Rocket League.
I'm gonna be real. Like I'm gonna play it, try it out. I haven't played Rocket League in ages, but I'm gonna try it out again just for that.
I'm fully diving into MLB streaming as soon as that game comes out, man.
Yeah, me and Jay are
You're
fully
gonna
going
see
MLB.
me 10 hours a day
real
streaming,
Okay. You
going hard
need
on
to
MLB.
not only stream, but you need to turn those streams into videos.
Yeah,
I could.
Well, it's hard to turn MLB in the videos because all the videos that do good are like the My Team videos, which is hard.
Yeah,
because
the
you
My
have to spend
Career and all
money
that
on
kind
it.
of stuff.
My Career doesn't
well,
do
my
great.
career. I've seen several channels that have good.
Well, yeah,
My
it depends on
Career
what you do
videos.
though. Like pitching and hitting is good.
Isn't that the only thing that baseball has?
No, but like if you make a pitcher, you have to do like certain stuff with it, or like certain teams. Like certain teams do good for my career videos, and then the certain stuff you do. Like if you just clown around and like freaking intentionally hit people and do all the bull crap, then that's good. But then like if you actually like try hard and stuff, then it's like you get like 20 strikeouts, and it's like, no, this guy sweat too hard. Like they don't like that. They like the comedy stuff, which is hard to do in MLB.
Yeah.
But then like the My Team stuff is what everybody cares about. Like if they pull out a new card and you get it first and all this crap and you upload it, then that just pops off because everyone wants to see how the card does.
That's kind of the only thing that does well in streaming as well. I mean, you can kind of do franchise mode in streaming and stuff, but like it's really the My Team and the card openings and also the ranked stuff they have
Yeah, that's why NBA
that
2K
does
and
well
like
as well.
Madden do really good. It's like if you do like the connected franchise or the face of the franchise stuff in Madden, they do good. And then like I used to play 2K Pro-Am like professionally, like they had the 2K League now and professionally and stuff, and I tried out for that and like the Pro-Am games and stuff were really fun. Like those did good on YouTube and they were good for streaming. Like I used to pull a decent amount of viewers and I wasn't even trying to stream every day for that. Like they were doing good. But it's like it's just the small stuff that does good for that. Other than that,
Let me
yeah,
think. Yeah, I
nothing
don't
much.
think there's any. I mean, there's not a whole lot I'm looking forward to right now. So,
Nope.
I think that pretty
There's,
much ends it, doesn't it?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Give me Halo BR, please.
Give you what?
me a
Oh,
Halo-
Halo Battle Royale. Who was that? Courage, I think, was saying like that has to be in the next
I
one.
can, dude. I love Courage.
Honestly,
Some of the stuff he tweets is so frustrating and annoying.
I think he's right.
But the main no.
honestly, I
What-
would
what
play the
gets
crap out
annoying-
of that. I don't even like Halo that much.
No,
and I would play the
I would
crap out
play.
of that.
I love Halo. It's my favorite thing of all time. I just leave me alone and let me play Halo. But Courage basically he just started playing Warzone again. Like I would say like maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah, he despises it.
And ever since he's been back, he's been nothing but bitching about it. But then, like when you read the comments, the people that have been playing it for the longest are getting sick and tired of him bitching about everything. Because usually the people that bitch and like are higher ups, like Courage and Nick and all that, they get everything done and taken away of. Like some people don't want it taken away. Like right now, the current meta in Warzone, it absolutely sucks. It's stupid. You have a 3-burst gun that kills you in 1 burst, and it's the dumbest thing ever. And then the FAMAS that they basically nerfed to the ground at Cold War is the freaking strongest thing in Warzone now. The dumbest thing ever. Plus, the freaking DLC skin they came out with in the season pass, like, what was it, 3 seasons ago? You can't see the people when they're in the dark. It's literally a straight dark skin that when it's in a shadow, you can't even see it. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't play the game as much as I used to anymore, but the company that Raven Software, and I know they don't watch this or won't hear it because they're freaking doing other things that mean absolutely nothing to the game.
I don't think
But
that's the only factor in it.
No, they don't give a flying shit about anything people say. They'll do the bans and stuff finally, but they didn't fully take care of it. They didn't get rid of all the there's like communication errors and dev errors that's still happening and all this other bull crap, and it's just not fun. I literally watched Nick and Tim get so mad about how bad they've been getting stream sniped. They went over to Fortnite. They've been playing Rainbow Six Siege too. That's how bad it's getting right now in Warzone. Everything's dying, literally.
Bans don't do anything because you're not IP banning people.
No. They'll just make another. All you literally have to do is make another email account. You're all set
Yep.
up again.
Well,
Have
sounds
fun
like they got
shitting
work to
lost.
do.
No, they don't. They
Mission-
don't give a flying shit. They don't really care. Been like this for years.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! How did they lose?
That's hockey, by the way.
Yes, it is hockey. All right, I guess that does end it there though. So yeah, next week we actually I don't know what in the world we're gonna talk about next week.
Good point. There's nothing.
We'll have
Take a
to. We're gonna hope that some gaming news comes out. We'll come up with something. We'll do a podcast, but it might be a bit of a different kind of styled episode. Because yeah, there will be no NASCAR stuff. I'm sure Denny Hamlin will have some type of tweet to talk about. So we'll have to wait and see. But so I mean, yeah, actually, this might be the shortest one we've done. But we'd of course like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to listen to our podcast here on the channel, episode number 10. We made it this far, which is really cool. And we really appreciate you guys listening. We're starting to get a little bit more traction, I think, on like Spotify and stuff. We're getting like 20 plays per podcast now, which is nice. And then on YouTube is doing all right. So, yeah. Any final comments from you guys?
No.
Nothing from me.
No, not really.
All right.
To be
Well,
honest with you.
all right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for listening. See you guys later.